It's time to get your morning started with the news you need to know.
News update.
This is what's trending with DJ and PK. Hashtag NFL.
Flacco back to pass, pocket collapsing, and it's picked off. Taron Johnson at the 22, working his way back, cuts it all the way across the field, has Rasul Douglas blocking. 5, touchdown Buffalo! The first offensive play for the Colts is a touchdown for the Bills.
Wilson settles back, raises the foot, gets the snap, back to pass, looking, gonna float it up left for Williams, and Williams makes the grab in the end zone. What a throw! What a catch! Mike Williams in his first game in a Steelers uniform has hauled in a 32-yard touchdown strike from Russell Wilson.
Lutz waiting for the snap. Placement is down. Lutz's kick is blocked! It's blocked! It's blocked! The Chiefs blocked the kick! They're going to stay undefeated! The Kansas City Chiefs blocked a 35-yard field goal attempt! Kansas City wins this game on a blocked field goal!
Tabor Pepper will snap to Mitch Wishnowsky. Number 4 will try to make it here. Good snap. Jake has it away. Jake has the distance, and Jake Moody is good! Money! Moody!
From 52 yards out to send the Lions home with a victory. There's the snap, spot, kick away. It is up, and it is good! He got it! We're going to fly home on the wings of Jake Bates! Oh, baby! Good from 58, good from 52, and that's good enough for a victory for the Detroit Lions!
Highlights from the NFL. The best comeback of the day, PK, was it the Lions throwing the 5 picks, down 23 at the 7 at the half, and they rallied to beat the Texans. The Steelers down 10 to the Commanders in the second half. They rallied to win 28-27 on the Mike Williams touchdown catch. Or there were more comebacks. There are too many comebacks. I can't keep track of them all.
Okay.
Favorite comeback out of those two? I'll figure out what the other one was.
Lions was a bigger deficit, picks. So 16's more than 10. So I guess that was something that was on the road too. Yeah. Trout saying he shoulders the blame. I don't know that that's true, but I appreciate the second-year quarterback trying to stand up and show leadership for the team.
Goff, 5 picks, and they still get the win. Unthinkable. Hadn't happened in the NFL in like a decade. But there it is. Somehow Detroit overcomes all those turnovers.
33. So it's a little, let's see, the Texans became a second team since 1933 to lose a game in which they caught 5 interceptions and led by at least 15.
Oof.
Now that's way more than a decade.
Well, you got to throw in the down 15 also. The 5 interceptions, I don't think they had that big a deficit.
They didn't? Who's they? Teams were 373, 1-1 by leading at 15 with 5 interceptions.
Oof.
1970, the Bears lost. Despite Johnny U throwing 5 picks. Johnny U?
They threw more interceptions back in the day.
Jeez, Johnny U.
7 straight wins for the Lions, who still have the best record in the NFC. It was ugly, yet it was beautiful. So, go figure. 49ers missed 3 field goals, and then Money Moody delivers the winner. I don't know, can you be Money Moody if you've missed from 44, 49, and 50? Yeah. Just a 44-yarder on the previous possession, but he got the one as time ran out.
You make him when it counts.
Oh, okay. Shaquille O'Neal of field goal kickers right there.
Yeah, and you got Samuel smacking the guy, but nothing will be done by that because he's a good enough player.
Devo can do what he wants. He's Devo. The Chiefs, another last-second scare. They won 5 games after the 2-minute warning, and they win this one by blocking a field goal as time runs out. An unlikely way to get it done, and yet it worked.
Yesterday, I had on the NFL Network when I was in the car, and they played the Denver snap, the kick.
It's blocked.
Blocked. It's funny.
As opposed to, it's blocked!
Yeah.
Monday Night Football, the Dolphins and the Rams. So get ready for that.
Okay. I'll start right now.
DJ PK.
Hashtag college football.
For the lead for BYU. Snap, hold, kick, on the way. Kick is good! Only 3 seconds left. Incredible! The game was over. And somehow BYU, given new life, has a 1-point lead and is 3 seconds away from improving to 9-0.
This game was absolutely stolen from us. We were excited about being in the Big 12, but tonight I am not. We won this game. Someone else stole it from us. Very disappointed. I will talk to the commissioner. This was not fair to our team. I'm disgusted by the professionalism of the officiating crew tonight.
BYU and Utah, it delivers again. Don't play it for a couple years. Makes no sense, but when they do play it, PK, it's wildly entertaining. Any one of half a dozen things that happened in this game would make it an interesting game and a big story somewhere else. And a bunch of crazy things happened in this game, and it's wildly entertaining. And the Cougars are 9-0.
Yeah, I could talk about this the entire show. I know we can't. We got somebody tells me we got to do some other stuff, but yeah,
what a game!
This is it's what a series. It's far more than just a single game. I mean, these games take on lives of their own that just continue to. You don't think it could be topped, and here it is again being topped. It's just stunningly amazing. I don't know how else to say it. So much to get into, but as I say, we got to run through these other things here, so we don't have time right now.
Yeah, you got time for one favorite thing. Pick one, because there really are like a dozen things you could go to. But give them one.
Well, it's the game. I mean, the Cougars finding a way to win, and we can get into Harlan's comments. He apologized for the method in which he said it, but I don't think reading the thing 3 times he apologized for what he said. Nor should he. I have zero problem with him doing what he did. I mean, the media is just low hanging, so they're going to jump on him and blast him. That's predictable. Pile on that and consider yourself controversial. The controversy actually is to defend him. It's not controversial to say, "Oh my gosh, what was he thinking? That was classless." Blah blah blah. That's not that takes nothing to do that, because everybody's doing that. It's just to look at it from a different standpoint about what he said, and in a contextual way defend his right to say it. That's controversial because that's the road less traveled, not the other stuff. And you'll see all this other stuff blasting him throughout. Go ahead. It's all out there. You can see it. We can get into that all morning.
$40,000 fine for saying that. And as you said, the partial apology there, but the rest of it, well, like a lot of you fans, he's still mad.
Well, I don't think he takes back what he said, just the venue and form in which he did it. All right. I can live with that.
Cougars are 9-0. We were talking last week about 3 of the top 10 were on the road. 2 of the 3 got beat. There ought to be more turmoil this week because I think we're going to have 5 of the top 7 and 6 of the top 12 teams on the road. Georgia got demolished at Ole Miss. Miami let it slip away. Woulda, coulda, shoulda, but didn't against Georgia Tech. They had chances throughout the game, but they ended up losing 28-23. So we'll see how far they get dropped Tuesday night in the committee rankings, but they take a big drop in the AP top 25, dropping 8 and 9 spots.
I'm going to take a big drop today myself.
Hey, now. Boise State battling with Nevada. They pulled it off. They're still in the hunt. Group of 5 leader for the playoff.
So what you're telling me is they still have their crack.
28-21. That's a true story. They still do. Maybe they have a crack at being one of the top 4 ranked conference champs, depending on how things play out in the ACC and the Big 12.
I don't see it.
Probably not.
I mean, obviously, Boise State has their crack.
Boom, there it is. Not for the first time, not for the last time. How about Colorado?
How about
all
them?
alone in second place after beating Texas Tech. They came from behind in that game. They were down 13 early, but they end up winning 41-27.
That was a great win, man. One of the better wins in the conference this year. No question about it. On the road, obviously. Yeah, and now the Utes and have an opportunity to really make a statement, see what they can do, play them Saturday morning of all times. 10 a.m. Go from 8:30 to 10 a.m. But yeah, you got to look at the Buffs and say, way to go, man. Results speak for themselves many times.
7-2 now.
Yeah, and they only have the one loss.
One conference loss because Nebraska got them in a non-conference game.
Right.
Indiana stayed undefeated, but man, they really struggled with Michigan. They win 20-15. They've had a bunch of blowout wins, so they're still undefeated, but they got Ohio State limited 2 weeks.
They should drop because their big reason for being as high as they were was their margin of victory. Yeah. And 5 points, I don't believe is that big. You got to stay consistent in your logic there, guys.
Nope, they don't.
Well, we'll see. It hasn't come out yet.
DJ and PK.
Hashtag Utah Jazz.
The game was never out of hand one way or the other, so it was good for our team to feel that, where you're up 4, then you're down 2. You're up 6, then you're down 1. It stayed in that area, and so it's great for our team to feel that, like, where every possession has this weight to it. I think anytime you can be in that environment, it helps your team grow. Being in that environment on the road adds even more to it, and I thought for the most part the guys handled it really, really well.
The Jazz get their second win of the year. They beat San Antonio 111-110. The Spurs with a late three-pointer to turn the 4-point game into a 1-point game. The Jazz get win number 2, and now they come home to face the Phoenix Suns, who lost in overtime to the Kings last night, but are tied for the best record in the West. But they don't have Kevin Durant right now. He's out with a calf strain for a couple weeks.
Yeah, Nurkic went out, too. He didn't play in the second half, so that's 2 of their 5 starters. So that's a different Suns team than what has been there that they'll see tomorrow in this cup spiel that they try to jack up. I give them credit for doing it. It just doesn't hold water in the moment. It's okay, which is good enough. It doesn't hold up over the course of the season. Nobody remembers it 2-3 weeks after it's done. But what the heck, why not try something? You're getting buried in terms of publicity this time of year anyway, so why not?
Give it a shot. The Lakers won the first one and fired their coach. So here comes the second NBA Cup. This will be the start of group play Tuesday night. DJ and PK.
Hashtag NBA.
Well, the big news in the NBA, Chet Holmgren, pelvic fracture. He fell in the Oklahoma City's 127-116 loss to the Warriors. He's going to be out 8 to 10 weeks. And then I guess we'll get the reevaluation then and see how he's doing. But say goodbye to Holmgren for a couple months. They were off to an 8-2 start. They're tied for the best record in the West, but missing Chet as he has his second major injury in 3 years.
Yeah, I think they were off to an 8-0 start, weren't they?
And then the losses came, including losing that game to the Warriors now. They were the last undefeated team in the West. Also, Anthony Davis led the Lakers. They beat the Raptors 123-103. But he left with a left eye injury. He got hit by Jakob Poeltl's hand. So he'll be evaluated by an ophthalmologist. He's got some swelling.
Yawking on AD's eye.
DJ and PK.
Hashtag college basketball.
A lot of blowouts as expected. Utah State picking up some easy wins, but BYU, were you surprised by how close the UC Riverside game was?
Oh, I don't think you can underestimate the Mudcats.
The Mudcats? The Mudcats.
Yeah.
Come on, man. The Highlanders. Put some respect on that name.
I mean, an individual game. I have a vote in the college basketball selection committee, so I'm not going to punish them for margin of victory. But, man, the Jazz losing really bummed me out because get as high as you can because if you don't get flagged, how about my guy Igor, I guess they're calling him. I mean, this guy's a player. He's a really good player. It's going to be fun to watch him. I don't see there's any way how he would come back next year, but enjoy him while you can. He's clearly the best player on the floor. Virtually every time he takes the floor. Now, it's only been 2 college games, and the Big 12 season will be fun when we get there in January. But he is just an amazing player, and already I'm falling in love watching him play.
Did you watch your Devils and Gonzaga last night?
I did not.
Right.
I'm not a big basketball fan for them.
Gonzaga at home wins it 88-80. It was tight late, but Gonzaga gets it done at home.
You must have, because it's not on the roundup here.
I did watch a little bit of the end of it. DJ and PK.
Hashtag Major League Baseball.
Are you ready for another bidding war for another sensational player from Japan? Roki Sasaki expected to be posted, they say. 23 years old, only eligible to sign a minor league contract due to his age and MLB rules.
These rules, who came up with these rules?
I don't know. I don't exactly know how they work.
So what is going on? Don't they just have it like the basketball, man? Everybody's there, and if you want to draft them, you can draft them. We'll see how good he is.
DJ and PK.
Hashtag golf.
Austin Eckroat, 9 under to win the Worldwide Technology Championship by 1 stroke. He goes 9 under in the final round to finish at 24 under. Patrick Fishburne tied for 12th at 16 under. Zach Blair tied for 45th at 9 under. So the locals make a little money. Do you know much about Austin Eckroat? I do not know anything about Austin Eckroat.
He's a heck of a golfer.
Okay. You got anything else?
Can really drive the ball.
DJ and PK.
Short game is good.
Okay.
Hashtag NHL.
Utah Hockey Club needs to stop playing last place teams. It's not going that well. They blew a 4-1 lead and lost to the Sharks in overtime. That's the last place team in the Pacific Division. They go on the road. They wrap up the road trip this weekend. They're at Nashville, the last place team in the Central Division, their own division. And they get shut out 4-0 to wrap up the road trip. Utah Hockey Club off until Wednesday when they take on Carolina. Doesn't make any sense, PK. They've lost to 2 last place teams.
But this is who this team is, basically, now. I think we'll see this the rest of the season, which isn't that bad. As long as we see some bright spots, and I think so far we've seen enough bright spots, and everyone's still in the honeymoon phase anyway, so it's almost like the results don't even care.
15 points through 15 games, which is an improvement over last season.
I mean, they care. I'm not saying they don't care.
Right.
But I think we as fans, we're just excited to
Hey,
have
let's
him
go
here.
to a game.
And it seems like at least every week, if not 3-4 times a week, I have somebody say, hey, I went to the game. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I mean, I heard it just Saturday. And I think that's the important thing from the fan perspective right now. The team is trying to develop something. That's their job and to do all that. But from the fan base and the community, I've heard that.
Yeah, they're sampling NHL hockey the first time, and they're liking the experience.
Right.
It's a beginning.
Right.
But you got a new league in town, and you've seen minor league hockey for years, but you're paying major league prices now.
And as long as they win enough
They'll
this
be
time around,
right?
Which they are. I mean, they've had some wild inconsistencies. Sure, it reminds me of sort of RSL season. They got hot for a bit, and then they made changes, and then you never really know what's going to happen when you go to the stadium or the whatever you want to call it, the
arena in this case.
Yeah, and so, but by and large, people are coming away from it enjoying the experience.
Wednesday, Carolina Hurricanes at the Delta Center. They got a few days off before that game. That is what is trending. There are the headlines. DJ and PK. It's brought to you by Shamrock Plumbing. There's no job too big or too small. Get the personal touch with Shamrock Plumbing. Nate Dreiling, Aggie football coach, will join us next to talk about the game at Washington State. Darius Lassiter, BYU wide receiver at 8 o'clock. Corinne Reed, Ute linebacker at 9:30. Lots more on the Utes and the Cougars next right here on The Zone.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I present?
This is JJ and Alex.
The only place I like to drink ginger ale is on an airplane.
Isn't that the truth?
Give me the ginger ale.
For some reason on a plane, it's like, ooh, ginger ale sounds great now.
Give me a ginger ale. Also, when you come back through, could you give me the Bloody Mary mix? Not a Bloody Mary. Give me the mix.
What do you do with the mix?
You just drink it because it's basically like spicy V8.
Oh.
I want to talk to a stranger with bad breath on the plane.
I don't have time to dive into why you like spicy V8.
I'm telling you, because it's
something's wrong
low
with
in
you.
sodium.
Catch JJ and Alex afternoons from 3 to 6. Presented by G2G Bars on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
DJ PK. We are joined now by Utah State football interim coach Nate Dreiling. His weekly appearance brought to you by Macy's. Happy shopping. Coach, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on. The trip to Washington State, was that offense everything you expected, or a little frustration with your defense over how it went as well?
We hung as long as we could. We just got, when you're down 9 of your best 13 players, eventually they're going to wear on you, right? So they do a good job. Their quarterback is extremely talented player. So there's a reason they're 8-1, know how to finish games. So hats off to that team.
We hear these days the idea about playing complementary football. It seems like every coach has been talking about it, particularly when they win, and that means your defense complements the offense and vice versa. I'm wondering, your offense has been pretty good and it's consistently pretty good, but the defense, and you just mentioned it, how much does the aspect of the defense being a little porous play into the play calling on the offense? You were running the ball really well because maybe, if you think about it and control the clock a little bit more, obviously that keeps Washington State's offense off the field more. How much does that go into it when you're creating a game plan from the offensive perspective?
Yeah, our offense is a little different. It's go, go, go as fast as you can. And we know that our offense is better than defense, so we need to outscore people. But that just amplifies the toughness on defense when sometimes you go, 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 and it's a 30-second 3 and out. You got to get back out. The defense got to get back out there again. So we just had a tough time kind of matching things up. We need to cause a couple more turnovers. We had balls on hands. We just weren't able to catch them or pick up the fumbles. And ultimately, if we can't get field position and flip the game in that regard, it's just tough.
Jalen Royals was such a big part of the team, and obviously you got to find a different way to throw the ball. Grant Page, 7 catches. He's a sophomore. I don't know much about him. What's his future look like? What do you think of him? Because obviously he was making some plays.
Yeah, it's kind of the theme of the year for this team is the next man up. And when you get this banged up, you got guys that a lot of people haven't heard of. And they've done a good job preparing, and Grant's done a great job of waiting for his time to be called and making most of the opportunities. So, yeah, heck yeah, he's going to have a bright future.
What's the message to the team? Because it looks like, you got an opportunity to beat Hawaii.
Yeah, the next 3 games are all winnable games. We have 7 losses to 5 ranked teams. When's the last time Utah State's played 5 ranked games? So we got 3 definitely winnable games coming up. So let's continue to do what we do and get better at our little things and go get this one.
You looking for any other players to emerge over these final couple of games here? Somebody else following the Grant Page story?
That's hard to say. I'm sure we'll get some more guys banged up. But as long as everyone keeps preparing and coming into the building with a smile on their face, man, it's going to be fun. And got to go win this one and finish on top.
Normally when you get to seasons like this, maybe not normally, but sometimes coaches will use the opportunity to look at some younger players. As you go through these last 3 games the rest of this month, what is your philosophy there?
Yeah, guys, we have all of our guys are injured. So if we get any younger, we'll have Cache Valley High School kids playing. So we can't go much younger. We got everyone in. So these are all the bullets. So hopefully people just keep playing hard and go from there.
Your dad is a high school football coach and a very successful one. When you talk to him about all the craziness this season, and the craziness starts with you being overseas and getting the phone call and being told you're the interim head coach, and then the rest of craziness, has he, in all the, he must have had college coaches come through recruit and all that. Has he heard anything like this, or is this season really one of a kind?
Yeah, it's been a crazy one. Not very often you get a job after July, right? So he's just proud of me. He knows we're working hard. Not the season we wanted by no stretch of the imagination, but I'm just proud the players haven't quit and they're playing hard, and that's what I'm going to hang my hat on.
You speak of the players and keeping them together. How about the coaching staff?
Yeah, they've done such an awesome job. These players love these coaches so much, and that's the reason why this whole thing just hasn't sunk to the bottom. So we got each other, and that's really about it right now. But that's really all you need.
Well, Hawaii's coming in 4-6, not ranked, so that makes it a different kind of week. We'll look forward to the game, Coach, and thanks for a few minutes.
Hey, thanks, guys. You guys take care.
All right, Nate Dreiling, interim head coach at Utah State. DJ and PK, it's 97.5 The Zone. The question of the morning in the wake of yet another classic, epic rivalry game. Your reaction to the game. Mike, I thought we finally found our quarterback, but 0 points in the second half says no. On the list of a dozen interesting storylines to this game, PK, the offense, a bunch of punts, I think five punts and one interception in the second half. How much do you put on Keithy's out, and you got a young quarterback, not much experience, obviously. I don't know if he's that young, but inexperienced quarterback without the playmakers around him.
I put 0 on Keithy out. You spent the whole, not you, but others, spent the whole offseason telling me the tight end room. And it sucks for the young man to be injured, so I'm not making light of that at all. But you're going to tell me one guy goes down when you just spent 6 months? Tell me how great the tight end room was? I thought that room was the most expensive piece of real estate on the campus. And the equity that they put in that room. I mean, you had this guy, that guy, another guy. You couldn't even get all the players on the field. They were so good. Now you're going to tell me one guy goes down and they can't score a point? That's BS.
Guys have been buried and vaporized. Landon King. Let's go. Throw him the ball.
Landon King. Yeah, exactly. He showed something last year. I haven't heard his name this year.
No.
Loner early. The kid.
Loner had 3 touchdown catches early.
Ryan, the transfer from UC Los Angeles.
Who does seem like if you're going to go next man up, he seems to have been the second tight end in the diet of Keithy, and Keithy.
Well, no. I'm at this point, I'm done with excuses. I'll give him the excuse at quarterback, but I'm not going any other places. Come on, man. Especially that position. And again, for Keithy, I bleed for the kid because this could impact his professional career.
Obviously, right? Yeah.
This sucks all the way around. He's had 2 major injuries. There's no doubt about that. Gone for the season at this point. Just about any injury could literally be gone for the season because you only got 3 games left. So we're at the point where even the slightest could be season-ending when you get to the second week and third week in November, obviously. But it's so unfortunate for him. Kyle talked about it. Everyone, every Cougar fan ought to feel bad for the kid. But I can't just pull back and say, well, that's why you didn't score because you didn't have your tight end when you told us all along how great the tight end room was. So I'm not buying that in the least. I'd rather have them hang their hat on officiating, causing them as the reason to lose, which is bogus too.
Yeah, the other drives didn't end because of officiating.
Right. But, if you look at Rose, he showed enough. He scrambled. He
gave him a little something in the run game.
Yeah, he picked up some big yards. For we're talking a first start here, and I don't care if he's 32 years old. It's his first start, and that's the game you're going to have him start against a top 10 team in the country. He didn't get it. His first start wasn't against Chico State.
Your go-to school.
Yeah, so he didn't get an opportunity there, but he's not complaining about that. And let's see what he can do for next week. You got 3 games at least. You got to win 2 of them to get to the bowl game. So you got 3. And now let's see what he can do.
Reed, it was just another classic performance in the Holy War saga. There is always an interesting twist in these games.
Not always, but it seems more often than not, yeah. And this game will go down as the holding call game. I mean, it just has these games, the storming the field games, the magic happens game, the 53-yard field goal game, and all. It's like these games take on names of their own that you'll be talking about at 2:30 in the morning. I'm talking to Yock and the others, and I'm on the side of my house so I don't wake up the fam.
Hey, you were kind enough to join us.
Yeah.
We were still rolling. We rolled until, it was around 2:30 when we wrapped up.
Right, yeah. It was like 2:20 when I went inside.
Yeah.
So did you call a second time, or did you just stay on that long? Because I heard you at like 1:45. You were in your car, and you were even
it was after 2.
Oh, really?
Maybe it was 1:45.
Yeah.
He was on for a bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I heard you say I may be going through a dead spot here.
Yeah,
that was
just right outside of Highland.
That was the very
spot.
first part of the call is what you heard then. Because he was on first.
But I was just getting to the car driving home at that point, so I listened.
Yeah, so he was on
for a lot. They were asking about classic comebacks. You pulled out the 1972 basketball game. Replay it again.
Well, yeah, they were talking about what would be considered having games stolen from you, playing off the Mark Harlan comments. And so, I mean, that's the all-timer as far as I can recall. I'm not really good at that one, but that one stands out.
That one stands out.
That was massive. They 3 or 4 times they replayed
the
couple of seconds at the end till the Russians finally scored. You got that going on there, and then that's a topic that's worthy of discussion. Harlan caught me off guard. I was in the room and I had my face buried in the computer because I had something written, and I thought, no, I got to change it. And so I'm trying to write, so I'm not sitting there till 4 a.m. So I didn't get the recorder on because I didn't see him coming. My face was right focused on the computer.
There's a rhythm to the postgame. You're not the only one who told me this because I asked somebody else about it.
and I'm in the back where the recording material is. So I got people in front of me, TV cameras. I did not even see him walk in. The
TV guys are setting up tripods.
When he spoke.
Right.
Yeah.
Tripods and cameras.
Yeah.
And
I'm behind them.
Him walking in the room is not
No, he does it every time. I usually
unusual,
talk to
right?
him.
But him going to the podium is very unusual.
I've never seen it.
And literally one of the people told me, I thought he was going to do a sound check.
Oh, yeah.
So I couldn't believe it when I heard it.
do that. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I couldn't believe it when I heard him just jump right in.
So I was not prepared. Fortunately, others in the front were. Because I literally didn't see
it. It was people who could grab their phones. That's all the video was on phones.
Yeah.
Our guys downstairs here, they have a clip of it, and the audio, it changes format about 4 different times because they're trying to get it dialed as he's speaking.
Yeah. Oh, no, I totally missed it.
Steve Bartle, the one I played earlier, that's Bartle's
Right, I asked
of it.
Steve, I said, did you get it?
And his clip,
he says, I got it.
His clip had the 12 years comment. It says, he missed the first part. It says, I've been an athletic director for 12 years.
Yeah.
They missed the very first.
So, that was highly unusual. I've never seen it before, and I'm old as dirt now. I've been doing this a long, long time. And he got up there and said what he said, and so be it. I defend his right to say it. I don't slap the loss on the referees. You still had plenty of chances to stop them, and I know the BYU fans, the face mask, who was that on Glasgow? Well, that was actually a grab across the top of the chest and the jersey. I understand all that, and I always go to my go-to move is once you introduce refereeing, you then have to go and look at every call, every non-call see it.
That take really got seconded and thirded and fourth because now if you have like one of the high-end accounts to YouTube or ESPN or Plus, you can get the all-22 video. And so the number of people who are treating it like the Zapruder film and going back and whatever call they saw during the game. And, of course, if you want, you can have the editing package on your computer at home. You can post it to social media. And the reason that I heard you and I was so late is those were filling up the timeline. And I was looking at there was multiple things going on. But one of the things I did was look at some of those videos. The face mask happened while I was on the air, so I didn't even see it live. I didn't know what happened. Doing a half-hour sports show against that game is awesome. And so
I watched it.
See, you did not. Seeing all those, seeing all of those, the people grabbing it, and they had it in slow-mo. And I thought of what you said. I thought, well, this is like the living example here, because one fan is, lots of fans are about, what about the face mask? But there were Ute fans who were like, well, what about the takedown on this? I forget which defensive lineman it is. And he's going to break through and sack the quarterback. I don't even know at one point in the game. And just the jersey tug, he gets dragged to the ground. There was no call. And there were other calls people put out there.
I mean, get a load of this. At 4:15 in the morning, I'm communicating with coaches. This is no joke.
I believe you. It's hilarious. When I first found this out about coaches, I didn't know it when I was a young fan growing up.
Yeah.
But I'm in college at Santa Barbara, and I found out that the UC Santa basketball coaches, they're routinely up all night after games.
Yeah.
And they have a whole rhythm of they watch the game broadcast, or they go through and pick out plays, and they go watch the whole game film, and then they watch the game broadcast at 4 or 5 in the morning.
And they're talking about this is what Utah does. That's how they defend. This is their tricks of the trade. This is why they're so good. This is why they play man defense. And one person said to me, it was like a basketball game. You could just blow whistles all the time. And, what do you decide to do? Because it's an entertainment. It's a form of entertainment. Nobody wants to see a parade of free throws go 50, 60, 70 times at a basketball game in the NBA. And so how do you do all this? So you can get caught up in the refereeing, and that's the losing team does that.
Right. But Kalani, that was what Kalani said in the postgame. Was he said they get handsy.
Right.
They get handsy, and
they know about it because they're all former Utah coaches.
They've literally sat there and talked about how they're going to teach it. They've all been in the room.
Yes.
They've all been on the practice field as it was taught.
Yeah.
They all know. And he said, we just played in the last update, he said, I'm glad they called it. And the reason he said that is because he knows they don't always call it. He knows it as well as anyone.
Yeah, but there's an argument there. Let the players decide.
In that moment, right. And we do have BYU fans saying that, actually. Cougar fans saying, I agree, in that moment it probably shouldn't have been called.
I had somebody tell me I wouldn't have called it, but I believe that gets called 8 out of 10 times.
Oh, really?
So 92% of the time.
Terry McCauley, who's refereed 3 Super Bowls. He's
a Super Bowl ref.
I think he's NBC's now. Exactly.
T-Mac. Oh, he ain't no Dean
Blandino.
Yeah.
And Mike Pereira. Yeah.
No, Pereira's okay, but Dean Blandino is my Dean. No, I love Dean Blandino.
Okay.
Well, Dean Blandino is my guy.
That's because it ends in a vowel.
So does the other one.
Is he from Jersey?
That part I don't know.
I don't know, but I just love Dean Blandino. And McCauley here, or whatever his name is, he said that's a foul. You call that foul every time.
Yeah, he said every time you call
Every freaking time you call it, man. You put the yellow out on the turf.
That.
I agree with you, DJ.
They don't call it every time.
Well, you're disagreeing with a Super Bowl referee. I would never do such a thing.
Oh, you would too.
So there you go. But that's separate from Harlan's not right, but just the thing that he did. That's 2 different things there. I want to make sure. Blaming the refs is weak sauce. It always is. But what Harlan did, to an extent, I defend it.
To an extent. And he did something that a lot of people have done, but he did something that doesn't normally get done. I think that's why you got to find more. We'll get into that next. Stay with us. DJ and PK, it's 97.5 The Zone. Join Hans and Scotty Wednesday from noon to 3 at Tim Dolly Nissan Southtown for the Cougar Preview Show. 11155 South Jordan Gateway in South Jordan.
Accessing.
This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G.
Joining us now, Ian Fitzsimmons.
Hans, Crazy Wings, George's. Did you hit it?
I didn't get to hit it, man. We ended up at the Brazos Grill. I got their chicken fried steak, but they did have these thing called the armadillo balls at the Brazos River that was really good, but it's not the Crazy Wing.
Can you go ahead and just lift Hans saying they did have these things called armadillo balls, which were really good?
I feel like Chevy Chase in the movie Funny Farm.
You polish off that plate and you break the record.
Stand back, everybody. The record falls tonight.
Now, there's a man who knows when he's got something good in his mouth.
On that mic drop, bam, done.
Catch Hans and Scotty weekdays from noon to 3 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The band of the day is Survivor. Founder Jim Petterick celebrating his 74th birthday. Brought to you by Live Nation for all the live concerts and events in 2024. Check out livenation.com. Eye of the Tiger. Rocky movies. We've all heard them. There you go.
Couldn't name you one other tune.
That's it. Mark Harlan, you just heard it there. He gets fined $40,000. And PK,
yeah,
it's time for hot takes or toast.
Good.
Brought to you by Siegfried and Jensen with 30 years of serving Utah. You put it up on Facebook. Tons of reaction. Cassandra, what are they going to do about the horrible refs? They're going to assign them to more games next week, and they're going to go ref some more games. That's what they're going to do.
Okay, yeah, I get that. That's what they're going to do. No question about it. They're going to do that, and the league fines them $40K and slaps them on the wrist and don't do it again. Okay, coach. Okay, mom. Okay, dad. But
I saw a story. This is the 4th time in 10 years that an AD has said something and been fined because they went after the officials. The other 3 all got $25,000. I thought the part about happy to be in the Big 12 and tonight I'm not, I wonder if that was worth an extra 15. Something was, because you get $25,000.
Yeah, you're going on a guy right after the game, gets up there, he's all fired up. And you got to me, this wasn't about singularly the game. This season has been the most disappointing in all, from the top to the bottom in the athletic department for football, the most disappointing season that they've ever had. So you've
never had expectations like this,
These
a losing
guys
streak like this.
We're talking about the playoff. They're talking about competing for a national championship, and now it's not even close to that. They're going to have to. They're struggling just to get the opportunity to play in the Who Gives a Crap Bowl, sponsored by Who Gives a Crap. So that's where they're at. So it's all this stuff that's been going on, and it exploded in the moment. We're talking about human beings here. So we're going to run them out, and this guy's a bad guy, and that guy's a bad guy, blah, blah. No, that's not the way I look at it. Sure, he shouldn't have done it. I'm on board with that. He shouldn't have done it. But he did it. He didn't call out any individual. He didn't hurt anybody, any of that stuff. So I put it in context of people, and he said an explosive thing. Okay. Is that exactly the way he feels at all times? Today, by reading the apology, he didn't take what he said back.
He thinks the officiating was still terrible.
So be it, man. I mean, you're fighting for your guys.
The apology is that wasn't the right venue to say it.
And sure, it wasn't, but you got something to say. He said it. And now, man, if I'm Whittingham, this guy's got my back and he's sticking up for his guys and all that stuff.
There's a reason 4 ADs in 10 years in the Big 12 have done this. And that is you're the leader and you stick up for your guys. And Kyle, in his press conference, I thought he wanted to say a lot of the same stuff.
I mean, he used more.
And he paused, and you could just feel that there's a pause, and like he wants to go, but he's thinking, nah, I don't want to say that and get fined.
And he had another 15 minutes, too, before he got up there.
Yeah.
And because the players went up first, and
he was editing himself as he went.
Yeah, I mean he's older, so he's does
more post-game press conferences.
Yes, and so he got his point across in the same manner that Mark did, without having to worry about getting fined. And then basically he could walk right up to Mark's comments and stop because Mark already said it.
Yeah.
So he didn't need.
Did Kyle know? I don't know how that all broke down.
No.
Yeah, Kyle didn't know.
No.
In his comments, he said he hadn't heard what he said yet.
He did not know. He's meeting with the players. He meets with his family.
Yeah, they're in different rooms, so he wouldn't necessarily know.
He didn't know. No, he did not know at all.
So the other fines are all $25,000. How do you explain the 40? I assume that was for referencing the conference.
Did you see the clip?
I thought it hit a nerve.
Walking on the field in the middle of that final play.
Yeah, and
for the field.
And he got a personal foul.
When you get an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty from an AD.
I thought of Hayden. It's happened before, but not a lot.
And grocery prices are up, fines are up, gas is up.
Inflation. Got
it.
It's not inflation.
Yes, it is.
No.
And it's coming down, let me tell you right now. Inflation.
He's going to appeal the $40,000. He's going to get it brought down.
No, I'm talking inflation's coming down. Gas prices are coming down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. 401ks are going up. It's going to be good. It's going to be really good.
DJ PK, when we come back, Darius Lassiter gets his first taste of a rivalry game. What did he think of that atmosphere? We'll find out next.